revenge of the feminists. They're suddenly upset that women are embracing the quote-unquote trad wife lifestyle, which means that feminists, who have been spiking the ball for a very long time on trad wives, are now creating this delusion in the media, right? They're starting to write, and it's women. It is women that are writing these articles. I have paid attention, just trying to highlight how, actually the trad wife lifestyle is dangerous. It could lead to this. It could lead to that. And so I saw this article in CNN, and it was written by an intern, actually. Her name is Taylor Niccioli. And yes, Taylor is a woman. And the headline is, "A single mother speaks out on how the trad wife lifestyle led to her divorce." Oh my gosh, if you guys are thinking about getting married and taking care of your kids and making meals for your husband, just know that this cautionary tale that they keep telling you, these other women are telling you, these other women who are barely getting paid to write these articles are telling you really as a form of a projection. But let's explore this, because this is actually fascinating. So the first sentence I'll just read to you because they're trying to paint a picture. Sporting retro 50s hairstyles and cinched aprons, trad wife influencers have taken over a pocket of the internet. It goes on to tell the story of Anitza Templeton of Littleton, Colorado, embodied the trad wife lifestyle for 10 years. At 4 a.m., she would start making bread and begin prep for the day's meals, always from scratch. The mother of four would do all of the household chores while her husband focused solely on breadwinning. Here's a quote from Miss Anitza. "Social media can make everything look really pretty because it's a 30-second clip, but 30 seconds out of 10 years really omits a lot of ugliness in those relationships." So just to be clear, Anitza is now 41 years old, and she is speaking out about her former imprisonment because, I don't know, I guess she felt she had to wake up at 4 a.m. to begin baking bread. I mean, what an absolute nonsense. I follow these quote-unquote trad wife accounts, and nowhere do I feel pressured to wake up at 4 a.m. to bake some bread. So if you're doing that, that's on you, babe. That is on you, babe, okay? Now, let's cut to who this Anitza Templeton person actually is, because I was interested. I'm like, let's not read the CNN propagandist piece, which is telling women do not do this because the government will lose the power that we have over every facet of your life. If women start staying home and rearing their children, then we won't be able to brainwash their kids in school, and mom will start paying attention to the homework again and realize that we've become a bunch of perverts and we're raising them up to believe in government dependence. I mean, let me calm down because it infuriates me to see this. But I decided to look up Anitza on TikTok, and she makes videos talking about her prior relationship. So let's listen to Anitza in her own words.
Honestly, I started going to therapy. He was tired of how horrible my sex drive had declined after all the children, and everything was my fault, and I was just the worst person, wife, mother, everything in the whole entire world. So I made an appointment at the doctor thinking I had something wrong with my hormone levels or something. Obviously I'm gonna keep pushing through, this is my life, and I was just kind of a shell of a human and a robot of version of myself. I went to the doctor and said, "Hey, I'm getting a little bit older. I'm in my later 30s. Could you test me? Is there something wrong?" And I was just kind of, very dead inside. And the doctor, way to go to her. She picked up immediately what was going on. She asked a little bit more about my personal life, and then she said, "I'm not testing anything. I want you to feel better first." And she prescribed me an antidepressant. I got in trouble for that. He is the one that drove me to the appointment and then picked me up, and he was so excited to hear what was this magic fix. And when I told him that they prescribed me an SSRI, he lost his shit.
Okay, let me tell you what she actually just said there. She said, "I wasn't having sex with my husband. Okay. I went to the doctor to see if there was a hormone issue of why I didn't want to have sex with my husband. And my doctor said, girlfriend, hero doctor, don't even think about if you're having a hormone issue. Here's a pill for depression, and it's just going to make you happy. And we're going to just prescribe you SSRIs, which can fundamentally change your brain chemistry. There's been plenty of examples in the media of women killing themselves, killing their children after being prescribed an entire cocktail of SSRIs. So her husband was not keen for her to just be given a pill before you even tested her hormones. That sounds remarkably sane to me. But I guess we're supposed to think, oh my God, what a monster. He wasn't even happy for her that she got this magic pill that was just going to make her life absolutely perfect. And by the way, I really am not sure that if she was taking SSRIs, that was going to bring up her sex drive in any capacity, but she got a feminist doctor. Thank goodness she did. And that's not all she got. Take a listen to the rest of what she admits.
And I was like, okay, yeah, maybe the problem is me. I'll go to therapy. Maybe it's me. So I kept, but I knew what the problem was. I went to therapy and I started telling the therapist all the stories, like all the arguments we had been having. And, you know, if anything, I was twisting the story to lean more to him. Like I was definitely giving him all the benefit of the doubt and definitely being like brutally honest with what I was doing. And then maybe, you know, definitely giving him the benefit of the doubt whenever I told her the story. And my therapist was like, so I'm concerned for you. It sounds like the person you're with has some sort of a personality disorder. I can't diagnose them. I've never met them. But just from your stories, I would assume there's definitely something wrong. And she just started to make a whole bunch of things piece together. And from going through the motions of putting myself first and making sure that I was taking care of myself, once I could see him for what it was and I also started reading the book Why Does He Do That by Lundy Bancroft. There's free, I'm going to put the title of that book in the comments. So therapy in that book and just like starting to learn made it impossible to stay.
And there we have it. Then she dived into therapy, ladies and gentlemen, and she started reading feminist books, and she made her realize, actually, I need to put me first. That's what she says. The therapist made her recognize that she needed to start putting herself first. And that is not how a marriage works. That is an utterly ridiculous statement to make in a marriage. In my marriage, guys, I put myself first. Does that sound like good therapy? No, that does not sound like a union of two individuals coming together and seeing themselves as one, which is what marriage is actually supposed to be about. But of course, because we have this feminist movement, this feminist cancer that will not go away, and then you couple that with all of these therapists who are really just perverting traditional lifestyles. They exist to tell you that you're a woman, but you could be a man tomorrow. You're a mom, but why should you have to watch your kids? All of this is the big bad patriarchy boogeyman. It must be Matt Walsh's fault. It's because Matt Walsh has a platform that you feel like you have to live this life. But this woman, who I am looking at, and just in 5 seconds, I think she doesn't even look stable, was plucked up from obscurity from CNN and put on as someone with no mention in the article that, yes, we should also mention that she's on pills, and a therapist essentially ruined her relationship, because that's what a lot of therapists do. They don't make relationships better. They make them worse, because they look at you and they tell you that it's perfectly fine for you to be a narcissist, a la Prince Harry, who I talk about all the time. What happened to him was too much therapy. Therapy today is about me, me, me. Why shouldn't I have to do anything? It's not my fault. It's never my fault. And that's what therapists tell you. It's never your fault, because that's how they know that you'll come back, because they're not giving you anything that's going to help you shape your life in the right direction. Again, I'm speaking about the majority here. I have seen examples of good psychologists, psychiatrists, and therapists, but I think the overwhelming majority are not even being trained to try to make relationships better. They're just being trained to make people inherently more selfish. Hey guys, if you like this video, you will definitely like the full episode even better. You can find it by clicking